Hey, what's up, guys? Grant Wise here, and wanted to give a quick shout out to Sebastian Rusk in the Podcast Launch Lab. Before I met Sebastian and before I really started diving into the whole media game, I didn't really understand why I needed a podcast. I couldn't even really make sense of it, Like your time's probably very valuable, but you're still trying to figure out how to get attention and how to get more people to know you and how to get your message out to more people, nationally, internationally, whatever that looks like for you. And I met Sebastian. He's like, dude, you got to have a podcast. You don't have a choice right now. You're trying to build a media company. You're trying to build a big brand. And you're trying to have a huge impact. And you're not getting your voice out there because you don't have a podcast. And so I sat on that for a little while. And I wish I hadn't. But I sat on that for a little while. And I kept going, kept trying to grow the business, kept trying to do, businesses with other people, kept trying to create JVs, kept trying to create relationships, and nobody wanted to talk to me. And I think it was because I was always like, hey, let's do this, or hey, let's do that. And then finally I listened to Sebastian, and I started my own podcast, the Real Estate University podcast, and he showed me how to set it up. He showed me how to put the processes in place, how to create the logo, how to create the name, how to get a show process in my place so my team could handle, when I would record the podcast, they would take care of it. And then he showed me how to do a bunch more stuff with, creating videos, how to turn that into podcasts, and how to create more content. And it was amazing. Our brand has really started to blow up as a result of that, and our podcast has really started to grow and get a lot of attention. But what has been probably the most valuable to me is those same people that I kept trying to get in touch with and kept trying to hit up and kept trying to do joint ventures with and create relationships with that constantly put me off. Well, I totally flipped my script and I said, look, I'm looking for dominant players in the real estate industry to have on my podcast. Would you let me interview you? And it went from people that were blowing me off for months to people that were responding in less than a matter of seconds. Yes, send me a link. Let's get it scheduled. And it was so cool because we would do the podcast for 30 minutes to an hour. And then it went automatically from, I don't want to talk to Grant, to how can we collaborate? How can we do business on a bigger level? How can we work together on a grander scale? So these people that wouldn't talk to me for months are now all of a sudden my best friends, all right? What it felt like, right? So you must, I think, if you're trying to grow a business, if you're trying to get your message out, if you're trying to grow a nonprofit, if you're trying to grow a dog clinic, you're trying to sell more pizza, you're trying to sell houses, whatever it looks like for you, whether it's on a local community scale or it's on a big, huge international scale, like some of the big podcasts you've seen, no matter who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, you need a podcast right now. And Sebastian Rusk is the only guy that I recommend to help you understand how to grow your podcast, how to start your podcast, how to build it. The Podcast Launch Lab was probably one of the best investments I've made in an attempt to build media. I've been on other podcasts and it has grown my business by multiple six figures, but now having my own podcast, the relationships it's creating, the message that's getting out, the people that are hearing our voice, it's just second to none, one of the greatest things I think that you could do right now. As radio continues to get replaced by podcasting, I don't see a better way right now to grow your influence, grow your media, and grow your business than using a podcast. It's going to do incredible things for your brand, and I highly recommend that you jump off right now, get signed up, launch your podcast. You will not be upset that you did. Thanks.